Supreme Week 1 will be dropping August 20th. Like this video and subscribe for more resale predictions and drop lists just like this one. The Supreme Bicycle clear playing cards will be retailing for $18 and reselling for around $50. I think these will do really well. It's just a really simple accessory with some nice Supreme logos on it. And they're also really cheap. I'd expect them to do pretty well. You can easily make $10 to $20 on these. I would only go for these in a multi-cart unless you can cart multiple of them. Like if you can buy 5 in just one cart, I would 100% go for them. Try and get as many as you can because these will definitely resell for a ton of money. Either way, these are a really nice item and will definitely resell for some good money, but only go for them in a multi-cart. Next up, we got the Supreme Verify Tee. This is going to retail for $38, resell for around $85. I think this will do really well just because it is kind of like a troll Supreme item because it's like a Supreme Captcha, and that's what you like sometimes get when you're trying to buy Supreme, and I just feel like it's a troll item. I definitely think it'll do really well for resale. It probably won't do the best, at least for the tees, but it definitely is really low retail, really low resale. I wouldn't go for this in a single cart, but I would try and cart it with at least some of the other tees just because you'll make a lot more money if you get it in a multi-cart. Next up, we got the Supreme Spalding Washington Basketball. These are going to retail for $108, resell for around $220. I think these are going to be really good just because the only other time they've dropped a basketball, it was with Gons, and those are selling for like $370 now. And they're even at the beginning, they're selling for like $220 pretty easily. So I'd 100% suggest going for these just because they'll flip for a lot. They might be kind of hard to ship, so I don't really know, but either way, there definitely is a ton of money to be made on these, so I'd 100% suggest going for these, even in a single cart. Next up, we got the Supreme Pharoah Sanders tee. These are going to retail for $48 and resell for around $100. It's pretty similar to the Buju Bantu tee, where it's like someone that's not like that popular, like they've done Marilyn Monroe and all these other super famous people, while Pharoah Sanders isn't that famous. It definitely is a cool tee, and photo tees always resell for a ton of money, so I'd easily expect this to resell for at least $100. I would 100% suggest going for these. You can probably get in a multi-cart, but if you get in a single cart, that's fine as well because you'll make a ton of money off this either way. Next up, we got the Supreme Hydrapak Water Bottle. This is going to retail for $38 and resell for around $80. I think this is a really good item. It's just going to be really convenient to have as a water bottle, but it's also just got a nice fat Supreme logo on it. So a lot of hypebeasts will want this. I definitely think it should resell for a good amount. I would suggest, of course, going for it in a multi-cart, but a single cart you probably could make a little bit of money, but definitely a multi-cart you will make a good amount of money. Next up, we got the Supreme Camo logo skateboard. This is going to retail for $50 and resell for around $80. I think this will do really well just because I want one for myself, and I think a lot of these are really good like display pieces just because, I don't know, they're really easy to put up and they look nice. I don't think this is the best skateboard of the week, but it's just got a fat Supreme logo on it, so hypebeasts will definitely go crazy for this one. And I think prices should go up as the season goes on, just like the distorted one did last year. They're selling at around $90 to $100 right now, and they're at like $80 at the beginning of the year, and they also restocked in the middle of the year. So these will definitely go up as the year goes on. Next up, we got the Supreme name badge stickers. These are going to retail for $12 and resell for around $25. I think these could resell for $100 if you sold every single one individually, but if you're not like that much of a hustler, they're probably not going to sell for that much. I mean, I think they're going to do pretty good, but unless you're getting packs of like 10, there's really no reason to go for these except in a multi-cart because they're just not going to sell for that much on their own, and you can't really sell them on StockX because the resale price is just so low that they'll take out a big chunk of it. Next up, we got the Supreme Futura logo tee. These are going to retail for $38 and resell for around $80. In my opinion, it's not that good looking of a tee, but it definitely will be good for a multi-cart or just a single cart maybe, and you can make some money off of it. I just think it's just a real hypebeast shirt, but either way, it's definitely something good to go for to make some money. Next up, we got the Supreme Anker Nebula Projector. These are going to retail for $628 and resell for around $680. It's just really not an item to go for to resell because it's so expensive on the retail, and also it's not even that practical of an item. It only has around 2 hours of playtime, so like one movie, and it's like tiny, and I don't know, it's just not something that I would think is a good item to go for. Next up, we got the Supreme ICR Hooded Sweatshirt. These are going to retail for $168, resell for around $210. I think this is a really nice logo in my opinion, but I just don't think it'll resell for that much, just because Supreme hoodies almost never resell for like a ton of money, and it's just nothing like super special. And usually the only hoodies that will ever sell are the box logos or like motion logos or super like interesting logos, and this just isn't that. Next up, we got the Supreme backpack. These are going to retail for $148 and resell for around $210. These are just going to drop in price as the year goes on, and then they'll climb back up after the season's over. So I would only suggest going for these if you can get them in store. There's nothing special about these, just a regular Supreme backpack, and it's not going to sell for that much unless you can really get it in store. Next up, we got the Supreme Loose Gauge Beanie. These are going to retail for $38 and resell for around $65. These are an amazing hold, especially if you can sell them around Christmas time, where they'll probably reach maybe like $90 to $100. Then they kind of drop after that. But if you can sell it around Christmas time or January, I think price on these is going to be really high. So I would suggest going for these in a multi-cart, because you can definitely make a lot of money on these if you hold them for just a couple months. Next up, we got the Supreme Black Diamond Headlamp. These are going to retail for $78 and resell for around $130. I don't think this is that like practical of an item to have, and I'm pretty sure they won't be sold on StockX or GOAT, because they have battery, or they're like an electrical item, and because StockX and GOAT don't really mess with that. So I think you'll have to sell these on eBay if you want to. So it's going to be a little bit harder to move. Either way, there should be some money to be made on these, but I wouldn't be going out there and be like expecting a lot of money to be made on these. So I would only suggest going for them in a multi-cart. Next up, we got the Supreme Watch Plate. These are going to retail for $58 and resell for around $90. I actually don't know what you can do with the Supreme Watch Plate, so don't quote me on anything, but I think you can make a watch with these. So I think these could do pretty good, but I think it's like a more DIY thing, and I'm 99% sure you won't be able to sell these on StockX or GOAT, so eBay will be your best bet. Next up, we got the Supreme Balloons Tee. These are going to be retailing for $38 and reselling for around $75, especially in the black and like the larger sizes or small. Either way, this is going to be a really good tee to go for. I would suggest going for a multi-cart. It's not my favorite, but I think it's cool enough, and it definitely has a Supreme spell out on it, so hypebeasts will want to go for these. Next up, we got the Supreme Balloon Skateboard. These are going to retail for $50 and resell for around $80. In my opinion, it's a pretty cool deck, and I don't know, it just got Supreme spellouts on it, so it definitely will do good. I think prices, of course, will rise as the season goes on, but these could get restocked at any time during the season, so I wouldn't like hold it. If you're going to hold it, I would hold it through the whole season, because prices will be around like $100 by then. Next up, we got the Supreme Boxer Briefs. These are going to retail for $36 and resell for around $50. I mean, if it's a different colorway, the Boxer Briefs usually do really well. The checkerboard ones are saying around $80 per pair, but they're just regular Supreme black and white ones. They don't do anything, and they won't resell for that much. So these are only really a personal item if you need a new pair, because, you know, the other ones got worn out. You know, have some skid marks in those ones. You can get some new pairs, and they're going to be only $36 for retail. Next up, we got the Supreme Retractable Keychain. This is going to retail for $28 and resell for around $50. I think this is a pretty cool like personal item, but I just don't think it'll be really any resell unless you get it in a multi-cart. And even with that, you're just still not going to sell it for that much more, unless you can get like, I don't know, a buyer to pay a lot more on eBay, because StockX is going to take a fat fee from this. Next up, we got the Supreme Jet Skateboard. These are going to retail for $50 and resell for around $80. I think this is definitely the best skateboard that they're dropping this week, and I just think the black and red ones, I think in like a year or a year and a half, I think the black and red ones might be going for $150. These are just really nice, like actual art pieces from Supreme, and not just Supreme slapping their logo on something. I think these actually look really nice, and although the blue one, in my opinion, is a lot worse than the other two, I still think it should do pretty good for resale. And I think if you hold it, I think prices will go up to at least $100 by the end of the season. Next up, we got the Supreme Plaid Appliqué short sleeve top. These are going to retail for $88, resell for around $110. In my opinion, it's not really the greatest item, but I think there is some hype around it. But I just think since the tops are so expensive, around $88, there just shouldn't be that much resale on it, so I wouldn't go for it myself. Next up, we got the Supreme GORE-TEX S logo 6-panel. It's going to retail for $54 and resell for around $85. The hats always do well, and I think this one's no different. I think although the retail is a little bit higher than normal, I think they'll still sell for a good amount. And I just think it's good for a multi-cart, just because you can easily make like $15 to $20 on these per hat. and with a multi-cart, that means like a $60 cart, which is a lot of money to be made on one Supreme cart. Next up, we got the Supreme waist bag. These are going to retail for $78 and resell for around $110. I think these are actually like could be kind of a surprising item, just because usually I'm pretty sure waist bags are over $100, or at least they usually are. And if this one only goes for $110, I would actually be kind of surprised, just because it is a pretty clean waist bag. I think these could go up to like $150, but I just think because they're probably going to be restocked a lot, $110 is a pretty conservative price as of now. Next up, we got the Supreme Smurfs trucker jacket. These are going to retail for $268 and resell for around $350. In my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if these resell for even more, just because the trucker jackets usually are pretty limited, and the Smurfs is probably one of the biggest collabs of the year, and like one of the most like recognizable collabs of the year. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does more, but $350 I think is what it's going to do day one. Next up, we got the Supreme Jet Tee. These are going to retail for $38 and resell for around $70. This is probably my favorite tee out of all of them. I just think it looks really nice. I think it's definitely the best design out of all of them. I think probably the Supreme Verified is just the funniest tee out of all of them, but this one's still really cool, and I definitely think it'll do good. I think it could rise up to like $100 like in a year, but I think as of right now, $70 is a pretty good price, at least for day one prices. Next up, we got the Supreme Nuova York tee. These are going to retail for $38 and resell for around $70. It's just a regular Supreme tee with, a classic little spell out on the front, and then like the New York in Italian on there. I think it looks really nice, and I just think it's going to be a pretty simple tee that's going to resell. Try and get it a multi-cart, and you'll definitely make some money. Next up, we got the Supreme Hanes Crew Socks. These are going to retail for $20, resell for around $35. It's just a regular Supreme like staple item. They're just going to resell for a little bit over the retail, and they're just like, I don't know, if you need some new socks, just buy the Supreme socks. They're pretty cheap, to be honest, especially if you can get them in a multi-cart. Next up, we got the Supreme S Logo New Era. These are going to retail for $48 and resell for around $70. I actually wouldn't be surprised if like the Slurpee colorway, the blue and the red, especially since it's like icy like the Slurpee like logo, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes for like $80. Also because Supreme S, Slurpee S. I just wouldn't be surprised if that goes for a lot more, but the rest of these should go for around $70, and it'll definitely be a good multi-cart item. Next up, we got the Supreme Lovers Tee. These are going to retail for $38 and resell for around $65. I think this is a pretty good item to go for, just because there's a fat Supreme logo on it, and it's not that bad looking of a t-shirt. Either way, it still should resell for some money, especially if you can get it in a multi-cart. Next up, we got the Supreme Multi-Logo Tee. These are going to retail for $44 and resell for around $65. In my opinion, it's probably the worst tee to go for, just because the retail's a little bit higher, and I feel like it really won't resell for that much more. It might be a little better than the tire one, but like either way, this is a really bad tee to go for, just because retail's a little bit higher and resale won't be much higher at all. So I just wouldn't go for it unless you can get it in a multi-cart with a ton of other items, and even that would be like a backup plan for me. Next up, we got the Supreme Stay Positive Tee. These are also going to retail for $38 and resell for around $55. I would only go for these if they drop in a unique colorway like the tie-dye ones. The tie-dye ones basically do good in all like shirts, I guess. So only I'd go for these if they're in a tie-dye colorway. If not, probably just pass on them because they're not going to resell for that much. It might make you like $5 if you cop these, so it's really not worth it. Next up, we got the Supreme Tire Tee. These are going to retail for $38 and resell for around $50. This may be the worst tee that Supreme has ever released, at least in the last couple years. And I just think it's literally the most boring design, and it's just, I could literally take a photo of the tire of my car and make a better design than this. So I really don't know what they're doing with this one, but it's just a brick, and it's not going to sell for anything, and I wouldn't buy it because you're not going to be able to, if you wear it in public, I don't know, it's just really not worth it. It's not a good personal, it's not good for resale either. But this week is absolutely packed, and there's a ton of items to go for, so just go for one of those items because you can make a lot of money this week. I'm looking to make around $100 to $150 this week, just because there are so many good items that will resell this week. So I would focus on those and then focus on these other little small flips. Alright, if you want to join a really good Discord for free, there's a link in the description to my Discord. In my Discord, we got monitors, we got slots, we basically got everything, and I think it's just a really good community to join, and especially because it's free. Like with anything that's free, you can just get it, or you could leave. So with something that's free and provides actual value, you kind of have to join it. So also, you can leave whenever you want. So if you don't like it, you don't like the notifications anymore, you can just leave. But since it's something that's free, it's not like you wasted anything on it. So join the group. There's a link in the description. There's a lot of information in there. We got basically everything in there. Anything you could want sneaker-wise, it's in there. And we got monitors. We got everything you'd want. If you're a sneaker reseller, if you're just any kind of reseller, we got monitors, we got slots, we got a marketplace, we got tickets, we got everything. Anything you can want, we got it.